Brother Polemarchs, my brother Polemarchs. I'm glad we were able to do this. I'm excited. We're entering into our 5th year of being a chapter, and I'm excited to have this opportunity to speak with both of you as I am trying to learn what this is going to mean for me as a Polemarch of this chapter. So I wanted to get you two together and get a little lesson.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. So
you got it. You definitely got it. Don't worry about it.
So we're gonna try. Let's have this conversation about brotherhood. You know, what does brotherhood mean? Brotherhood first. What does brotherhood mean to you?
Brotherhood first to me means just basically the essence of being a brother, which is to carry out altruism, the unselfish welfare of others.
Yeah, I would agree, and just being there for each other. I think that one thing that we have exhibited in these 5 years is that we actually like each other. Yeah. We like hanging out with each other, just kind of being around. So I think that it just kind of naturally, organically, just occurs with us. So I think it's not a forced thing. It's It just happened organically, and it's been a beautiful thing, over these years. I got to ask both of y'all this though. So, both of y'all are charter members of NFAC.
Yeah.
So, Sat, you first. So, what made you want to charter a chapter in Newnan? What made you want to do that?
Brother Polemarch, there were an influx of brothers sitting on the sideline that needed to be reclaimed. And within those particular brothers, I figured we can get some key brothers to charter a great chapter so we wouldn't be so worried about politics. We can actually be out in the community and do things within the community. So that was my primary concern. And to give brothers behind myself, like Brother Jones, the opportunity to form and lead a chapter and to become the Polemarch one day.
Right. I remember, man, vividly when Sat was trying to put this together, and we sat down at St. Smyrna Baptist Church. He had all of this history. He had everything that I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, man, feelings inside that I had not had in a long time, bubbling up, man, bubbling up, because this is my first alumni chapter. As an undergraduate made Newnan, is we were very anti-alumni. Mm-hmm. And so being able to be around somebody who felt about Kappa how I felt about Kappa really brought me home to being active.
So Brother Jones, how did you feel when you first sworn in as the Polemarch?
Pressure. Pressure, man, and let me tell you why. Because I have two Polemarchs in front of me who looked very effortlessly led the chapter.
It wasn't effortlessly.
At all. So I just want to live up to being a NFAC Polemarch. I want to be someone who leads this chapter into new beginnings, greater lands, and I just want to make sure that I don't mess it up. That's kind of my big thing, man.
The funny thing is, I know for you and for me, like Sat saw this. He kind of knew what was going to happen, and even when even when I first came to NFAC, before I came, I like one of OGs, guy like, hey man, you can sit down with Sat and just talk to him for a minute. I'm like, man, I don't want to go there.
That's how we felt. That's exactly how we felt.
No chapter. Man, he's like, let's sit down and talk to him. So, and he just sat, just genuine, just being who he is. Like, all right, well, I'll come to one meeting. I'll go to a meeting. You know what I mean? And sitting in the meeting, like, oh, it's Noops in here. Oh, this is cool. I'm like,
right.
Okay, I'm in. So, but from that to leadership is like oh, this is not going to happen. I know what you're saying, Sat, but it's not going to work out that way. This is not possible. But okay, whatever. I'm just playing along, and lo and behold, I'm like, uh-oh.
It worked
That's
out.
how it works.
It worked out.
That's how it works.
Oh, he wasn't lying.
Yeah. He said it to me. I fought it for years, man. When he first started, we first charted, he said, you're going to be the Polemarch. I said, I have no aspirations. None. No aspiration to be Polemarch.
That makes you perfect for the job.
Yeah. Perfect for the job.
That makes you perfect for the job.
So Brother Jones, and where do you see the chapter in the next 5 years?
That's a good one, man. I'm going to take the lessons of the Polemarchs ahead of me, right? And be someone that can fight for this chapter, be someone that will manage personalities.
That's a
in
big
the chapter,
part.
right?
That's part of it.
I could definitely see us in a position where we have a brotherhood building, right? I could see us in a place where we're making a huge impact in the community, partnering with governmental agencies, partnering with other stakeholders, other Greek organizations, and just doing what we do. What I do love about this chapter, and what has already been set as a culture, is that brotherhood is first.
That's right.
Right.
That's
and
right.
so all of the new stuff is going to happen, right? We're going to the brotherhood stuff is going to happen just because of who we are. I just want to make sure that the business behind the chapter is running like a well-oiled machine.
Well, your personality and style is perfect for NFAC anyway. You're a collaborator, you're a builder. You are. I've heard you say this many times, like, who on this ledge with me? You're definitely going to build a coalition. I think that Sat and I were a little bit different. Sat being first, my impression was like, okay, I got to get stuff done. He got to get stuff done. He has a more, I would say, authoritative or more autonomy. Like, I got to get this done. I got to do this.
I'd say that's
I'm running around doing all this stuff. And I think I probably was more like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'll actually forgive this later. So
That's true.
I think this is right. But, back, I just, hey, my bad, but but you're perfect for this though. Your personality is good for where we are, being that building part. You mentioned building in 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a builder by natural personality, so I think it bodes well for us.
So I knew I was telling you about. You were made for this.
That's what you told me. That's what you told me. I got a question for y'all. So, being the first Polemarch, being the second Polemarch, what do you see, or what would you like your legacies to be? What is your NFAC legacy, and what would you like people, further down, years down the line, to know about you?
Just a brother who reached out to other brothers and encouraged them to become active again, and to spread the tenets of Phi Nu Pi that we, swore to do.
Yeah.
Just to be known that we all came together and we built this brotherhood first thing into something outstanding.
Yeah.
And it's still that way. Jeff carried the torch. Now you have the torch. Now you have to take us to the promised land.
What about you, Jeff?
I think for me, just something you mentioned earlier, like we kind of were raised a little bit anti-alumni. So seeing that someone who had that mentality at one time now became a leader of a chapter, like what the possibilities are, right?
Yeah.
And just being a brother's brother, like hopefully brothers remember me as being like, hey, he was always a brother's brother. He was a cool guy, brother's brother. Wasn't too political, didn't take things too seriously, but just wanted us to have a good time and move forward. Let's handle our business, but let's have a good time doing it. But mostly, I would say just kind of thinking back about what your possibilities are, of you being in leadership, even no matter where you come from, what your path is. So I think that's probably what I would consider.
Yeah. I think we have a lot of characters in the chapter that all have different paths. Their story in Kappa is different.
Yes.
And to see, some of the brothers in our chapter who are taking on leadership roles, who are being a little more political, being more involved in the alumni level is like amazing to me.
It's impressive.
To see that maturation process for a lot of those brothers. I think that's really cool.
Let me ask you all this. So, 5 years, right? Fondest memory of being NFAC Nu. What's your fondest memory?
Go ahead.
Probably the fondest memory is to create our scholarship program. We've been able to give away thousands of dollars to the youth.
Jones?
I actually have two. You mind? I got two, man. I got two.
Yeah. Minutes you want, brother.
Yeah. My fondest memory is actually the chartering ceremony, right? So I've never been, I told you after graduating, I wasn't very active in Kappa, and so being at this chartering ceremony and learning what it's like to really be an alumni chapter was really cool to me. I give you an example. I had my pen on. My pen was wrong. That's how out of touch I was. And so now being in this position is really cool. But number two, speaking on your point, the scholarships is huge for me. So I love scholarships. I love students. And presenting those scholarships at that church to all of those students and seeing all of the Noops in their, their red blazers, walking down to meet me to present these students with their scholarship awards, man. Like, that is huge for me. Y'all don't understand what it looked like to have everybody watching y'all, 20 Noops, walking around. And I think that just that statement and just showing everybody that we are here in the community was really cool.
Hence the term, the redcoats coming.
The redcoats, right? The redcoats.
And to piggyback off of you and to steal a little bit of your thunder, that chartering day was very special.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
very great memory.
I'll tell y'all mine. For me, it was our first New Year's Eve gala.
Oh, wow.
I think that, we put so much work into it.
Yeah.
And to see us, produce, execute, and raise money for scholarships, and we all time back to that. It was a labor of love for sure.
Yeah.
But once you saw it all come together, you were like, dang, like look what we pulled off.
Yeah.
And that's what like our third year. Like we were just three. Like, okay, we're gonna take on this endeavor, and
we were fairly
huge endeavor.
Yeah, huge endeavor, right?
We had some behind the scenes pains, but we worked it out.
We worked it out. We definitely worked it out. So that's for sure. So.
Well, you know what else was interesting is we just had our 5-year anniversary, and we had our award ceremony, and we had our cookout, and I just wanted to share with you guys that cookout and seeing all of the Noops that were in the chapter, and then a lot of Noops who are interested in joining the chapter. That's when this Polemarch thing hit me. Is I looked around and just saw all the Noops having a good time with their wives and their children, and just showing love, and I was like, man, this is what it's about.
Something special.
Yeah, this is something special. You always told me that there's something different here. It's something different here.
It's definitely something different.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
I mean, like anything worth having, this is certainly a labor of love. I don't want to tell you it's not. It is a labor of love, but just to see the results are way more than what you're ever going to put into it. Like you'll be blown away just to see it. And it's small things sometimes. Just like a brother coming back and joining the chapter, or a brother you hadn't seen in a while walk through the door. It's just we're talking about Noop levels.
Yeah.
Like it'll bring your Noop levels through the roof. You know what I mean? So,
I'm always looking for that.
I mean, so those,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, those things will definitely bring your level up, and it makes the job not sound like a job no more. It seems like it's much more worthwhile, at that point in time. It's gonna be some bumps, but you got 1 and 2 the crowd on the bump.
We're always here for you.
Play with the bumps, man.
But it's all worth it though.
It is.
Well, I'm just excited for the opportunity. You saw something in me that I did not see in myself.
I saw it.
You have groomed me. You groomed me to this. And I just hope that I can make the Polemarchs ahead of me proud, and I hope that I can make the chapter proud as we continue on this journey.
Along with identify future Polemarchs.
Yeah, that's right. That's
exactly. Hey, remember, I was like, Jones, I got my VP, you got to be VP. What you mean? Like, what about that? We're gonna do this.
So the next Polemarch, you're up. Well, thank you, Noops. I appreciate it. Thank you for this conversation. I'm always trying to get my Noop levels up. I'm always trying to, be with my brothers, and I appreciate y'all taking your time out to spend with me.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it, Noops.
All right, brotherhood first.